Yo, this is episode 8 of Shadowrun Hong Kong. Why is there no cavalry anywhere? Oh, that's a miss. Secure Mr. Lee. its hit rate. The neural inhibitor device seems to be working. Let's get this guy to a secure location and get some answers out of him. I'll calm the crew and have them meet us. Alright, let's move. The crew is silent as you lead your captive to the rooftop rendezvous you designed before the run. Just as you planned, you find the others waiting there for you. Li Tai Lung's artificial features are molded onto an expression of aloof intellect and mocking rigidity. The plastic that makes up his face is soft, flexing with the motion of his underlying musculature. Overlapping wafers of silver and bronze foil buried inside the material catch the light as he moves. It's the work of a master craftsman, cyberware as a form of modern art, likely commissioned at modern art prices, an ostentatious display of status and wealth. The plastic-faced man examines the zip ties that binds his wrist with an expression of detached amusement. Isabel runs a long cable from a PDA to the jack in the back of his head and nods at you. Well, this is interesting, I must say. He chuckles, an odd hollow sound. I don't recall ever having been in this situation before. Usually I simply awaken to find myself in a strange new environment, wondering what happened. Not this time, Mr. Lee. You know my name too, very impressive. He surveys your crew with detached indifference. Looking at the lot of you, I think it's safe to assume that a violent extraction of information is the next order of business. Oh, you can bank on that, asshole. Wu focuses his attention on the plastic-faced man's kneecaps. So, you chose to take me in an empty parking garage surrounded by corporate security, he considers. Low chance for civilian casualties, clearly. The safety of innocents is a priority for you. Dystopia, we have a problem. Isabel stares down at her PDA. Dreamland's neural inhibitor software isn't interacting with this guy's cortical implant the same way as it worked with her own. It's only going to slow the memory wipe process. How long do I don't know. We're talking about software I didn't write, interacting with two different pieces of headwear I've never seen before. We're lucky this works at all. She begins a flurry of two-handed thumb taps on her PDA. I'll try and key in some buffering routines or something to slow it as much as I can, but my confidence is low. Isabel shakes her head at the PDA, her face pinched in frustration. This guy's memory is going to get wiped one way or another. I'd start asking questions to Sophia. Tense, very tense. The silky plastic of his face slides into a smooth smile. I guess I'll answer your questions, rather slowly. I wonder what's under that mask of yours. I was just wondering the same thing. Koshei's sorrows were, as if in anticipation. Don't bother looking. Neither of us will enjoy it, guarantee. Besides, I was joking. We don't need to step through a process. My clients know I'm a professional and that I take extraordinary precautions to protect their secrets. If those precautions were compromised, it was due to an extreme circumstance. His chin lifts a bit, and his tone becomes even more matter-of-fact. You ask your questions, Dystopia. I'll answer them as efficiently as I can. When we're done, I'll shake hands with the stranger and walk away, wondering what just happened. What is Prosperity? Prosperity Tower is Sang Mechanical Engineering's corporate headquarters. Prosperity is also one of Josephine Tang's pet projects. Which one do you want to know about first? His voice gets a sing-song tone. Tick-tock. I want to hear about the Prosperity Project. Well, that's going to be a challenge. You see, the Prosperity Project is Yu Tsang's best-kept secret. The best way to keep secret is to not tell anyone, even someone whose memory can be wiped. All I know is that Prosperity is something built deep inside Kowloon Walled City. Some kind of experiment that their son was working on. Edward Tsang. No, wait. Raymond Black, my father. Wu stands up, takes that amused tone he gets when someone's about to get hurt. Hey, Mr. Plastic, maybe you could settle a bet between me and my brother. Wu puts his face close to Lee's, his breath foggy, the wild Plastic. Now, I think Raymond is still alive, but my brother here isn't so sure. Wu's voice drops to a stage whisper. Which is it, buddy? Raymond Black, dead or alive? I got 20 yen on this. Guys, a status bar just popped up. It isn't moving yet, but you never know when it might take a jump. The little Decker watches her scream for a moment. It's stuck at 0 right now, but the process is starting, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. Here, give me that. Lee reaches out a perfectly manicured hand to Isabel. I'll show you something. Isabel pulls away on instinct and looks at you. This is a calculated gamble. You're running out of time and holding all the guns. I have information you want and betting that if I share it with you, you won't kill me when this is over. Go on, Is, let him have it. The plastic-faced man takes the PDA from Isabel and stares down at the screen. His eyes becomes unfocused, and he stands like a statue. A low-resolution video recording pops onto the screen. A small weathered man, possibly in his 70s, is strapped into a high-tech chair and connected to an elaborate scientific instrument behind him. The recording is from the first-person perspective, presumably the plastic-faced man's. This is from when I first brought the asset, your father, to Prosperity Tower. His eyes remain unfocused, still as a statue, after I took him from the tea house and the docks. The video continues, and a confident voice can be heard from off-screen, a woman's. You can't make out what she's saying. The point of view turns to the right, and a graceful woman of indeterminate age steps into view. She is clearly advanced in years, but access to a nourishing diet and cutting-edge pharmaceuticals afford her the vitality of someone much younger. She speaks directly to the camera. Her tone is hard. I warn you to be gentle with him, Mr. Lee. She looks over at the old man with genuine concern. He looks as if someone tased him. The voice of the plastic-faced man replies, I assure you, Mr. Sang, I was gentle. He walked out of the tea house on his own power. The old man speaks, his voice wary and hoarse. May I have some water, mother? My throat feels like it's on fire. She responds tenderly. Yes, of course, Edward. I'll have someone bring you some ice chips. The plastic-faced man speaks again, his voice lowered. Your son has apparently been through some sort of ordeal. He appeared demented at times, and he's been mumbling about stopping something. Prosperity, I think. Yes, well, that won't be happening. The woman addresses her son, speaking a bit too loudly, as if he is hard of hearing. You won't be stopping Prosperity, Edward. I want you to get that out of your mind. Do you understand? I understand perfectly well, Mother. There's no need to shout. But I won't give up. Prosperity must be stopped. All those poor people. The woman frowns and shakes her head. I know, Edward, I know. Those poor people. I've done a lot of good to make up for it since you left. Shelters, hospital, all sorts of good work. And now it's time to do something for you. Something I should have done a long time ago, perhaps. From the left side of the screen, a man enters in a white lab coat. The woman looks up and nods, and the lab coat's man places a chrome apparatus on the old man's head. Raymond speaks dreamily, as if a drug has started its work. What is this, Mama? What are you going to do with me? I'm fixing you, Edward. She walks up close to the old man, strokes his head tenderly, leans forward to kiss it. All you can see is failure. You're incapable of seeing the good in what you've done. The man in the white lab coat presses a button on Raymond's chair, and a robotic arm swings into view. A cobalt blue light springs from its tip, and the arm quickly circumnavigates the old man's head, bathing it in oscillating blue. A high-definition, three-dimensional image of Raymond's brain appears on the wall behind. I've been inspired by Mr. Lee here. The woman turns and looks at the camera. We're going to do some editing of your memories to relieve you of your burden. Raymond mumbles, dreamily, desperately, fighting to get the words out. No, Mama, wait. I've figured out what to do. And then he is asleep. The woman moves closer to the camera. Your payment will be made according to our agreement. She turns away, her voice cold, once the rest of them are dead. The video ends and the plastic-faced man exhales slowly. I've taken a big risk showing you that. I don't give a rat's ass. Wu turns to you. You see, I knew it. I told you, Dystopia. Raymond's alive. Sang's holding him at Prosperity Tower. He may be alive, but it looks like his mom's gonna erase part of his memory, just like Johnny Plastic here. She's gonna try to fix him. What kind of mother would do that? Something catches her eye, and she looks down suddenly. Shit. Isabel thumbs her PDA furiously, but it's no use. That's it. He's wiping. She pulls the cable from the PDA and drops it to the ground in aggravation. Oh, hello. The plastic-faced man looks down at his zip-tied hands and then slowly surveys his surroundings. Well, isn't this awkward? What do you want to do with this guy? He's got no memory, so it's probably safe to let him go. But Auntie said he should take a dirt nap. Wu raises his rifle, all the same to me. End him. What Auntie wants, Auntie gets. But he gave us everything we asked for and more. He's seen our faces. But I have nothing to connect them with. If it's all the same to you, I'd prefer to just walk away. No loose ends. Ends him. Gancho. My pleasure. mercy. Cocky motherfucker. The trip from the Czech Kip May back to Hawaii is quiet as you process the information revealed by the plastic-faced man. Prosperity is a name, two names actually. One is a secret project Raymond was working on before he left for Seattle. The other is the corporate headquarters of Sang Mechanical Services. And Prosperity Tower is where Raymond Black is being held alive. It is also where his family memory is in the process of being reprogrammed by his mother. And time is ticking. The plastic-faced man proved surprisingly amenable and quite useful before you killed him. Your next stop is kindly Shang. She'll want to hear this. You step out of the MTR station and into the balmy night air. An impenetrable wall of clouds, heavy with imminent rain, has blown in from the south. It covers the stars, causes them to wink out one by one. You can smell something on the air, something electric. The wind whips around you, and the clouds begin moving in a thick grayscale swirl. The spiral builds and grows, shimmering with faint amber light. As you watch the clouds roil in the sky, the sound of the city retreat. A bubble of soft white noise replaces them, wrapping around your head and reflecting your own heartbeat back on you. You look down from the clouds to see the light of the docks dancing in warm saturated blue. Head back to Bolt Hole. You turn to head back to the Bolt Hole, towards your teammates and the relative comfort of your new home. And that's when the first twinge tickles your chest, lets you know that something's coming. A moment later, you feel an incredible tightness on your chest. You feel like your heart is being crushed under the foot of a giant. Your vision goes grey, and your sense of balance disappears. Gradually, blood rushes in to refill the organs, inflating it like a balloon. Try to catch your breath. You gasp for air, it doesn't come. Your breath shallows out, thins, makes you gasp like a suffocating fish. Your chest contracts again and again as you struggle to take in breath. You stumble forward, and every cell in your body seems to vibrate. The energy thrums inside of you, pulsating, building to an unbearable crescendo, and then you're on the other side of it. You find yourself standing in a familiar courtyard, the walled city. You're back in the walled city, just like in your dreams. You can taste the stench of the place, the mildew and plaster, and wet dog stink of the slum. A dream, this has to be a dream. You try to blink away the image of the walled city, to blot out the sound and stench of the slums. You pinch yourself, you don't wake up. The crumbling facades of tenement buildings lean into one another above you, closing in on either side and creating a narrow walkway. Just like in your dreams, there's nowhere else to go, nowhere but forward, down the path ahead. Start walking. You let your legs carry you forward. You feel a creeping sense of certainty in the back of your mind, and it tells you that you've taken this same walk hundreds of times before. The sense of claustrophobia mounts and builds with every step you take. It feels like you're worming your way forward down a long dark tunnel. The humidity of the place sticks to your skin. As you proceed deeper into the walled city, a low rumble fills the air. The noise of enormous gears in motion. You feel hollow, empty, and with every step you take, you can feel that emptiness growing, an unbearable yearning, unlike any hunger you've ever known. Continue forward. You continue walking, just as you always have, just as you were meant to. Off in the distance, an alien silhouette beckons to you. It's her, the tall, slender thing from your dreams. The elusive figure that you've always been moving toward, but could never quite reach. A crowd of locals lines the path ahead, kneeling in supplication. They look emaciated, all skin and bones, clothing head to toe in dirty rags. Ignore them and keep moving. You brush past the kneeling figures and continue forward. As you do so, a mounting sense of correctness builds in your chest. These people are beneath notice. They should be ignored. Your feet carry you past them, and soon enough they fade from view. Your legs carry you deeper and deeper into the beating heart of the tenement. If you haven't reached the center yet, you must be close. It's incredibly hot and humid in here. The sweat rolls down your body in sheets. Your thoughts go hazy with the heat, and a dim sense of unease takes root in the pit of your stomach. Shake it off. You shake your head, struggling to clear away the fog. The omnipresent sound of grinding gears isn't helping. Looking up, you can see where the noise is coming from. A hatch. The same door that you saw in your nightmare back when all of this began. The markings on the door are legible now. A single word is faded. Yellow paint. Prosperity. Suddenly, impossibly, the alien figure that you've been moving towards is standing right in front of you. At the same time, your vision finally clears, and ice water runs through your veins. The walled city isn't a slum at all. It's an enormous, gaping maw, and the buildings are a forest of crooked teeth. The thing reaches for you, with inhuman speed and grace. It plunges fingers of polished ivory into your mouth. Slowly, terribly, it begins to wrench your jaw open. You can feel your teeth splinter and break, and rough fingers on your shoulders snap you back to reality. The hand clenches into a vice-like grip and yanks you backward off of your feet. You come crashing down to the floor of a Heo MTR station. You can feel a rush of wind just in front of you, a passing train. What is wrong with you, Dystopia? Strangler Bow eyes you coolly. Anti-Chains lost too many runners already. Besides, there are cleaner ways to end your life than jumping in front of a train. I was in the walled city. There was this thing. He cuts you off for the grunt. You were hallucinating and you almost just got yourself killed. Now get up and get back to that floating wreck that you sleep in. You don't get to die in here unless Mrs. Chang says so, says you do. The walk through the mahjong parlor is punctuated by the tantalizing smell of coconut and fried confection. Your crew surrounds Candy Cheng, watching uncomfortably as she peels small egg-shaped delicacies from a waffle-like pastry and pops them into her mouth. Each time she does, her eyes close in ecstasy, and soft sound comes from her throat. There you are, Dystopia. Your crew here tells me that you were able to locate and interrogate the plastic-faced man. The straw sandal's eyes narrow, and the rusty voice takes on a jagged edge. They haven't told me his current disposition, however. I assume everything went as instructed. I was gonna take his face as a trophy, but I thought it'd be tacky. Oh, I don't know. The triad boss smiles, and her little black eyes flash. Trophies have their value. Goblet's eye scans the room, apparently looking for trophies. I trust you got something useful out of him. We got plenty. Wu sounds eager. He gave us a data dump on everything he knew about Prosperity Tower, first-hand info. Josephine's headquarters. She puts down the pastry, rubs her nose, considering. That could be useful, I suppose. What do you intend on doing with it? We're gonna rescue Raymond. He's alive, auntie, just like I said he was. Josephine's holding him in there. She's doing something to his brain. Something to his brain. She takes another bite of her pastry. What is that old bitch up to now? Based on the memory that Mr. Plastic showed us, it looks like she's trying to rewire her son's memories using something called ASSIST, Artificial Sensory Induction System of Technology. It allows the user to record, process, and feed synthetic sensory inputs to the brain, like a Simpsons chip. Yes, Auntie, it's the technology that led to Simpsons. It's also what allows Deckers to enter the Matrix and grants riggers a neural connection to their drones. An expert assist technician could alter someone's personality, memory, or even identity. I'm guessing experts like that don't grow on trees. Definitely not. Changing someone's memories requires a world-class expert in assist and a massive amount of computing power. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing to him, but I'm guessing that his mom wants him to forget something, or to remember it differently maybe. We've got to get to Raymond before he isn't Raymond anymore. That means a run on Prosperity Tower. Isabel and I have been studying the data the plastic-faced man gave us about it. Lots of good intel to mine there. Talk to me about the security setup. How do we get to Raymond? The key to this operation are the 3 security stations located on different floors. The matrix systems in these security stations are a common command and control hubs for the entire building's security. As such, they're the best place to find out where Raymond Black is being held. That's all we got on this location. All we know is that he's being held somewhere called Lab 12, but where that is or how to get in there is something we will need to figure out on site. If things go hostile, the best thing to do is get to an alarm panel or a matrix security node and shut things down. If we're noticed, we'll have a brief window to cut the link to the alarm system. If we do that, it will isolate the whole floor from the security system. The rest of the building won't know what happened there. If the alarm goes off and we cut the link to the alarm system, we can spoof the system, tell it we've moved on to another location. That might work once or twice, but if we spoof too many alarms, they'll figure it out. What about guards, quantity, training? Standard corp security for the most part, but Sang has a rapid response squad for high priority events. That would be us. Sounds manageable up to the point we find Raymond. Judging by the way Grandma Sang took out Carter, Gutshot and Nightjar, I'd say she isn't interested in anyone getting anywhere near her son. Expect to face Sang's elite security once we find him. How long is this brief window to cut the alarm? Maybe 30 seconds, maybe less if the network isn't cluttered with traffic. It's there as a failsafe so security doesn't stampede all over the building if a janitor forgets to close the door. What else do we have on the security stations themselves? Staffing, weaknesses. Only one thing worth mentioning. Isabel looks over to Wu. The only way into the security station is with a key card, and guards on each floor carry a card to the station on that floor. So we can get a card by taking them out, but there may be other ways of getting key cards. Wu crosses his arms across his chest. Like I said, the security stations are the key to this operation. They provide multiple opportunities to exploit the system and determine how to approach the rest of the incursion. The security stations are priority targets, check. We want to take them fast, before they have a chance to respond. So, which station do we hit first? Oh, one sec. Oh, I'm back. Sorry about that. No way to know. We'll need to take one of them and use it to determine our next step. It's like we have directions to go find a map. That's all I need to know about security. Let's hope it's enough to give us an edge. How do we make our approach? Fortunately, Prosperity Tower is one of Sang's tower lower security location. It's mostly administrative, marketing, that sort of thing. That's good. Kindly turns to her enforcer. Mr. Bao, give the runners those old Sang security passes you used on that hijacking last year. Yes, Miss Zheng, they'll get them. Those passes should get you through the lobby. The triad boss pokes a fingernail between her teeth and dislodges a piece of pastry. They'll still have to explain you'll still have to explain your presence, Dystopia. So don't expect to just walk on through. What about that junk data you held on to after the Voxing run, Isabel? Anything in there we can use? Good thinking, and I'm already ahead of you. I scoured the leftover Voxing paperwork and found a way to change our status to special couriers. We can use that to pose as a third-party Voxing uses to deliver important packages. That'll work for a while, but we can't expect to stay in cover for long. One way or another, things are gonna get hot. The loading dock sounds like just the edge we need. Let's do it. Okay, I'll get us booked into Sang's system and print off some matching papers. We'll need a van to make it look legit. Well, consider it done. How do we stop this assist thing from rewiring Raymond? All we know is that an assist device is located in Lab 12. It's the only one in the building. Now I doubt that Grandma will just hand over the passcodes to her system if we ask nicely. So we'll need a Decker to access the assist device and eject him from the system safely before he scrambles his brain. Got it. What does the Decker need to do to eject him safely? Like I said, we don't know. We are going to have to improvise. Figure that out when we get there. That's all I need to know. One other thing. While I was helping Duncan verify as much of this data as I could, I decided to collect our marker with Bull and his team of runners. Good call. We need all the help we can get. Isabel looks up at Wu, her eyes big and round. Yeah, no kidding. Turns out Bull and our runner friends hit Sang a few months ago. Low rent smash and grab for another corp, but they got a quick scan of the building's matrix security before they rabbited. They gave us data flags that pinpoint where the security nodes are located inside of Sang's systems. So when we jack into the security station, we'll be able to make a direct attack on the security node. That could just buy us the second we'll need to cut the alarm link. Nice work. Kindly cuts in, licking your fingers with loud smacking noises. One more thing, Dystopia. While you're in her headquarters, look for anything we can use to incriminate or embarrass Josephine Sang. I want dirt, something I can feed to an acquaintance on the executive council. Someone who stands to gain from it. Right after I rescue my father. She pops another egg treat into her mouth and her eyes close tight with pleasure. Of course, my sweet, of course. Now go enjoy Prosperity Tower. She smiles wolfishly and give Josephine Sang my regards. Infiltrates Prosperity Tower to rescue Raymond Black. I'm gonna go get a drink, beer pet. Infiltrating the headquarters of a megacorp and locating Raymond Black will be challenging enough. Extricating him from his mother's assist device before his memories are permanently altered is another thing altogether. You hop to the MTR South Island line and roll noisily down to the nearby island of Apley Chau, a dense forest of soaring skyscrapers and corporate greed. Amid them, blending innocuously with its neighbors, stands Prosperity Towers. Emerging from the MTR station, you find a delivery van waiting for you, just where Strangler Bow said it would be. You pull the van around the building to the loading dock of Tsang Mechanical Services and its CEO, Josephine Tsang. It seems the behind-the-scenes world of Tsang is just as dirty as its business practices. Not far in from the stand a couple of corporate workers, unaware of, or at least indifferent to your presence. Security may look tight, but we're not in yet. Words only get us so far. Things are bound to get heated eventually. Just be prepared to cover your ass when the bullets fly. We've got a lot to get past before we can get to Raymond. Gobbet points her thumb towards Duncan. What Gunshow said. According to Kindly, we can find the information on Raymond's location in the security stations. It'll be tricky getting into them, but once we do, that's also where we can cut the alarm systems. And remember, we need some impressive decking to get Raymond out of there. She holds up the Tsang security passes. We also can't rely solely on these. They'll help us, but using them alongside our own wits will get us farther. The loading dock supervisor is glued to his monitor, his hand holding a sound piece of up to his right ear. You hear a faint cheer from the device, and he shoves his fist into the air in triumph. Score! With his eyes now off the screen, he spots you. Well, it's about time. He pauses as he takes in your appearance. You really the special courier waxing sent to deliver our load of enviro control ships? Obviously, I don't lug this crap around for fun, you know. Hey, you never know. Policy to check. Speaking of, let's see your credentials. Show me your forged ID. You'll see his eyes dart over the ID. He glances at you before sighing and pushing it away. Checks out, huh? Delivery standards have really dropped these days. Take the shipment to the security station in the sub-basement. This door here will lead you to the right floor. Once you check things in at the station, head back here. Don't wander off. Your clearance is for the sub-basement and the sub-basement only. The guards around here are strict as sin. Made a joke to one once, and he nearly glared me in half. I swear, they must have their sense of humor surgically removed. I'm on it. You're greeted by the sight of a dwarf leaning against the desk, nose deep inside a book. The placard next to her hip reads "Maintenance Lead." She holds up her finger to silence you, eyes locked on her story. After a moment, she dog-ears her page and sets the book on top of the desk. By the way she sizes you up, you can tell that she's not in the business of making friends. Yes. Special delivery from Waxing. Where's the security office? Heard I'm supposed to take this over there. She flicks her finger towards the door and speaks quickly. Outside, around the corner. Don't leave this level unless you get a Tsang ID. Be a shame if you never made out of here. Get your credentials in order and get out. A muffled, annoyed voice shouts from the other side. What? Delivery from Waxing. Got the package and receipt right here. All deliveries go through the maintenance manager. Her office is right around the corner. Got a big sign in front. Can't miss it. This locker is large and sturdy and protected by a simple keypad. And who are you supposed to be? Show me your signed security passes. First day, was told to report here. Well then, welcome to the shit show that is floor 3B3. Our boss is a dick, bad at everything, and loves to blame others. That's why the company put her down here. I'm guessing she's not the lenient type. Leniency, here. Just where do you think you're working? Not even our god-awful boss will tolerate anything less than your best. In fact, I suggest you make it a habit to check in with her early. She hates it when people are late, and with how much she enjoys pointing that finger, stay on her good side. He locks his locker and heads out. The guard's brow furrows at your approach. He looks giddy, or maybe antsy, as he flexes the hand closest to his handgun. Halt, this area is off limits. Only select personnel are allowed in here. You have identification? Show me your ID. Easy man, just making a delivery. He blinks in confusion, but then seems to decide on something, and nods his head. Delivery, right, on with you then. Sales and acquisitions. A timid woman looks at you from her station. Excuse me, sir. The Sang employees on this floor may only be seen through a pre-approved appointment. Do you have an appointment? Show her Sang security passes. I'm head of an external group from Ares. Well, knight errant actually. And I'm here to perform an external verification of your response procedures. She gives you a sideways look. I don't recall there being an appointment for anything like that today. One moment, I'll check with scheduling. If you have any doubt, ask this guard here to examine my passes, but I'm sure there's no need to bother. The receptionist whips towards the guard. Pardon me, Mr. Security Guard. Yes, you. May I please get your opinion on something? It seems to me that this man should have a security escort if he's doing a security sweep. Is that correct? He'd damn well better. The guard examines your passes. His eyes grow wide. And a second later, he howls into his comm. Security breach, office level. With the fucking lack of cover. Fuck. Let's upgrade the shotgun. Awesome. Okay, I'm back. Security, node in connected mode. Whoa. Hot potato. Six five five three 9237 9237 4936 49363. hacked a node on a vulnerable network is quickly infected by spoof programs. Within a matter of seconds, the programs spread across the system, sending false security alarms throughout the SANG. The security network is becoming less and less stable. More guards pick up the summons to locate each arm's origin, but they continue to only find dead ends. Seven one three six 7136 1386 1386. Internal announcement, Sang security increase. The Sang company has increased its security measures in a company-wide movement to protect its investment. Sang's actions on this matter are to remain company knowledge only. Any mention or leak of this information will not be tolerated. Employees found guilty of divulging said security movement to outside parties will be blacklisted and purged from Sang mechanical. Yeah. Security protocols will double throughout Sang proper. In the case of Laboratory 12, security will be enhanced threefold for optimum protection. Those who work in Laboratory 12 will be upgraded to Omega level clearance. Admittance to the laboratory will be heavily monitored, and all visitors must have Omega clearance or higher with critical business in the area. The captain of this station has pre-approved a limited release of Laboratory 12's elevator code to Omega personnel. Receipt of this message is proof of your authorization. Warning, this information is highly sensitive and should remain restricted to Omega Plus knowledge only. Violators will experience the aforementioned blacklisting and company purging. A list of digital conversations that has been sent from this floor appears. One in particular, an exchange between a Tsang executive and an employee in accounting, looks promising. conversations. Data store passcode request. Li Shan, Magical Research. I was informed that you're the best person to contact regarding the passcodes for the Medical Research Center. As a new recruit to the accounting team, and with security being so tight, I lack access to the center's files that are necessary to perform my biannual accounting report. I'd appreciate it if you'd send me the codes by EOD today. No. What you're asking is extremely unorthodox and in blatant disregard of company protocol. My department is under constant scrutiny, and I can't afford a leak. You'll have to go through the proper channels and fill out the required paperwork if you want the passcode. Dear Miss Lin Yao, allow me to rephrase my earlier request. You send me the passcodes and I'll review the Magical Research Center's finances. I heard that your lab's been hemorrhaging funds this last quarter. Perhaps I could massage those numbers to make the lab appear more monetarily efficient. Attached are the passcodes for my department's core system terminal. You will access the system only under my direct supervision. A calm, stern-faced man stands before you. He casually checks his watch as he addresses you, his voice tinged with boredom. I was hoping you would have handled things with, how should I put it, more discretion. As a runner, I thought you'd know better, and it's too late to change tacks now. What with all the dead guards around here? Wait, have we met? He smiles. The expression on his face is unsettling. Not until now, but I consider myself a great judge of character, and now that you're here, you have a choice to make. Fight me or walk away. I need to spill more blood than required. Besides, bullets are expensive. I knew you were a reasonable man. He motions towards the door. Good luck to you. Floor 49. Whoa, slow down there. This is a restricted area. I need to see your ID. I'm here to evaluate your procedures. Now step aside. Hey, not so fast. His hands flies to the gun at his side. Sure you're signing security passes. Weren't you told I'm a consultant? Is that right? The guard lifts his comlink after a moment he speaks. Got someone here saying he's company consultant. Do we have anything like that scheduled? Yeah, here at the lab. Should I give him clearance? I oppose. Understood. His comlink clicks off. Apparently, we've some security passes stolen recently. He raises his gun. Nice try, whoever you are. You hack the node, and the now vulnerable network is quickly infected by spoof programs. Within a matter of seconds, the program spreads across the system, sending false security alarms throughout Sang. The security network is slowly compromised. A few guards catch wind of the alarm and begin to investigate the cause, but the false alarms direct them to dud locations. Oh fuck. Yeah, that was obviously not what I wanted to do. The captain of this station has pre-approved a limited release of Laboratory 12 elevator code to Omega personnel. Hello. Well. Explore the core system. Destroy your eyes. Four 917 7582 7583. Let's go over here. A small data archive node springs to life. It appears to be a set of mails tagged to a reinitialized data center. The data center is labeled Special Projects. Read the mails. Dr. Yu, as I expressed in person, the assist-based security project is on an accelerated timetable. As such, I require regular updates to track progress. What is the status of the device? Please agree my lack of proactive communication. I have been working around the clock to meet your timetable and was ignoring my mail in order to focus on the task. Lab 12 has already been refitted to support the assist project, and I have several noted experts on memory modification contacted. Oh, with the lag, come on. A small quantity of data resides here. The file header says somebody about a shutdown procedure for Lab 12, but it's bogged down in technical terms and code names that make understanding the content of the file difficult. However, one data block clearly contains a few passphrases. Eight nine 74. 8974. Okay. Yeah, can I fucking read the sign? Containment lab, okay. Four 44526. 44526. Numerical code accepted. Please enter second sequence. 25301. 25301. Sequence accepted. Access to special projects granted. Please have your Omega ID ready at check-in. Lab 12. Entering the special projects will alert the rapid response squad. There will be no turning back. Come on. The elevator codes acquired. You head into the enclosed space, watching the ceiling access panel closely as you make your way to Lab 12. Light elevator music contrasts sharply with the smell of sweat and cordite. As the lights on the elevator hit 12, you cover the door and wait. The security captain studies his fingernails, cuticles, with quiet intensity. When you approach, he drones out a standard challenge. Please have your ID. Then he registers who's standing in front of him, and he raises his weapon. Hold it right there. You have 2 seconds to produce an Omega level ID before I open fire. Oh, please, let me have the honors of opening fire first. Bring him down. Lab 12 smells of shiny new computer equipment, and the entire room hums with quiet efficiency. Monitors ping occasionally, broadcasting quiet alerts. The whole environment breathes high-tech serenity. The centerpiece of the scene is a cockpit-like capsule containing the unconscious form of Raymond Black, reclining peacefully on what looks to be some sort of surgical couch. Wires run from myriad assist devices to the back of his head. He takes in the scene. This is the largest array of assist equipment I have ever witnessed. It's quite impressive. Duncan's eyes are fixed on Raymond's unmoving body. His voice lowers to a whisper. Holy shit, Raymond. Find a way to open that thing now. All at once, alarm klaxons begin to blare. The door that you entered through slides shut, and you can hear the latching mechanisms engage. It's locked tight. The pounding sound of heavy footsteps resonates from the other side. Body is approaching and moving at rapid clip. Whatever we're gonna do, we'd better do it fast. We're about to have company. Scrolling through the reams of information on display, you eventually find step-by-step instructions for disconnecting a subject from the machine while it's in a state of operation. The instructions do not look promising. It's hopeless, my friend. We cannot operate this machine according to the normal specs. We don't have the time, or the clearance, or the personnel. Perhaps if we had a week, echelon security clearance and an army of lab techs, but we don't. I'm afraid that we have to improvise. Hell with it, let us improvise then. We've got to get him out of there. The console awaits your input. Search for a way to perform an emergency disconnect from the system. Eventually, you turn up an alternative method, labeled deeply unsafe, for removing a subject from the machine mid-procedure. In order to perform an emergency disconnect, you're gonna have to reprogram his memory manually using engrams stored in the assist machine's memory. Doing this through the terminal would take hours. You'll need a decker to guide the process in real time. If you fail to restore Raymond's memory properly, he will suffer catastrophic neurological damage. In the best case scenario, he will be left a vegetable. In the worst case scenario, he will die. Enable the terminal's yak point and initiate an emergency override. Here goes nothing. 1674 2984. Oh fuck. 844 844 fuck. Two 777 9713. 25713. 25713. Okay, so one is there, and one of those at send, and then M. The console's display blossoms to life at your approach. Sang Mechanical Services, Special Project Division, Central Hub. Open the README General Practice file. Scanning the file, you find a list of procedures that governs the safe removal of subjects from machine. According to the file, all 4 memory engrams need to be locked into the control hub in chronological order. Then and only then can a subject be ejected without suffering permanent neurological damage. Open the host engram stream file. Select engram for slot 1. Slot 1 active. Fluttering streaks by. You hack into the flow, capturing a small clump of tight, distinct memories, tiny and round. One of them glows, set apart from the others by its intensity. The verdant aroma of a still pond on a late summer day. Its reflective surface is disturbed by a single tear. As the ripples glide from its impact point, a young boy's face is reflected in the water, grief fracturing its innocence. He traces the character for father in the water with his fingers. Fucking lag, what the fuck? I'm back to dusk. Okay, what I do about it? Why you leave your dog alone? as a young boy. Engram integration success. Host reintegration process initiated. The clean room echoes with the footsteps as you approach. Whoa. He lies unconsciously, his chest barely moving, his eyes sunken, and his jaw slack. Carefully applied gauze dressing on his bald head surrounds a gleaming metal port, a data jack. A thin bundle of wires runs from the jack to the device mounted to the capsule wall. Oh my god, although his voice is small, it echoes loudly through the clean room. Raymond, can you hear me? It's Arnold. The old man breathes. Breathing changes, and you see movement under his eyelids. He slowly becomes conscious. Arnold. Raymond opens his eyes, blinks a few times at you. We have to go. I left Prosperity in the walled city. He must be disoriented from the assist program. It appears that we got to him just in time. There is no time for discussion, Dystopia. We must move. We gotta go. I'm gonna get you out of here. Disconnecting Raymond from the assist device proves to be straightforward, as does getting him out of the capsule and onto the clean room floor. It feels as if he barely weighs anything at all. Although his breathing is a bit erratic, Raymond seems steady enough on his feet. Lead on, Arnold. I'll be right behind you. Hello there. and forth you go. Alarms blare as you hustle Raymond from the special projects section of Prosperity Tower, but you encounter no resistance. Raymond unsteadily gropes his way through the corridors of the corporate headquarters, holding onto your elbow for support. Occasionally, the old man fingers the gauze dressing on his head with his free hand, wincing when he touches the tender patch. 10 minutes pass between the time you exit the building and enter the MTR station. The team remains on high alert, scanning the streets and buildings for signs of Zhang's security forces until, like a stream of cockroaches, you scuttle underground into the cool safety of the mass transit tunnels. You pay the fare, grab Raymond, and make your way to the subway platform. The sound of the old man's ragged breathing loudly rushing past your ears. Seconds tick slowly while you wait for the subway train to arrive. The team hustles Raymond onto the subway car, quietly taking up defensive positions and scoping the platform for signs of pursuit. The old man is unsteady on his feet, but he insists on standing under his own power. He grabs a railing and holds on with white knuckles as the train lurches forward. A group of tourists sit nearby, conspicuously avoiding eye contact with any of you. crew looks over the old man with the bandage on the back of his head, exchanging meaningful expressions. Raymond squints at the old group surrounding him, but his nod indicates that he understands he's among friends. Wu drags his goggles off his head, bending his knee to get a better look at the foster father. A tangled knot of relief, compassion, resentment, and hurt churns across the younger man's face as he wrestles with his confused emotions. Fear for his father's health overcomes them. Raymond, are you alright, little man? I fought against the reprogramming. The old man's voice is little more than a soft croak. His eyes are sunken and surrounded by dark circles. His mother's medical technology must be amazing. It's hard to believe he's walking under his own power so soon after surgery. Yeah, well, Grandma's an amazing woman. Her high-tech brain surgery, her ownership of the cops, her execution of my partner and those runners. Wu's face hardens and stands up straight, glaring down at the old man. Oh, and the way she had the plastic-faced man snatch her own son. Amazing woman. She's a real piece of work, no doubt about it. Yeah, tell me about it. Apparently her son is too. Pain and bitterness drips from Wu's deep, raspy voice. This man, whoever he is, has a lot of explaining to do. Are you ready to start telling us the truth, Edward? The old man tilts his head up to the orc, towering above him, and although exhausted, his jaw sets firm. Yes, Duncan, I'm ready to tell you everything. I had planned to explain it all when you arrived in Hong Kong. We're here now, Ray. You are here, and I'm grateful for all you have done for me, all that you needed to do. It's more than just exhaustion. The words are challenging for him to speak. The old man leans back on the wall of the subway car and gathers his thoughts. He seems to swoon for a moment, but then inhales deeply, swallows hard, and pulls himself erect. My name is Edward Tsang. I'm the only son of Josephine Tsang, the CEO of Tsang Mechanical Services, heir to the company. Before I left Hong Kong, I was the vice president of special projects, the up-and-coming star of the company. Was prosperity one of your special projects? Something you've never seen before washes over the tired old man's face. Shame. You've heard of it, prosperity, I see. Raymond takes a breath and the labored croak of his voice drops to a monotone. It was part of the project my mother envisioned, to rebuild Kowloon Walled City, a walking neighborhood for underprivileged citizens, fully integrated, with job training programs, co-op childcare, drug counseling centers. It was a new approach to low-income housing in the East, a springboard to prosperity for hundreds of thousands. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a place I grew up in. Raymond is 20 years away, doesn't seem to hear her. Mother personally oversaw every aspect of the project to ensure that every detail was executed properly. Chose each project manager herself, shared regular status meetings with architects, builders, visited the work site for surprise inspections. She was driven to make her renewed revitalization Walled City a success. So that was prosperity, another low-income housing project. No, the Walled City wasn't a prosperity project. Raymond covers his eyes with a liver-spotted hand, the dread radiating from him like the stink of decayed meat. Prosperity was something I built at the center of the Walled City. Then his hand drops, his eyes roll back in his head, and his face goes slack. A moment later, an invisible grip takes hold of your chest, constricts it, squeezing the air from your lungs. Your vision grays from the edges, and the world surges backward, leaving you suspended in the distance, on the periphery of reality. Something is hurtling towards you, approaching from the fringe of your mind like a bullet train. It screams ahead, closer and closer, until it's upon you, overwhelming you with its presence, and then nothing, silence, until a scream pierces your consciousness, pulls you screaming to its source. You're back in Walled City, the city of darkness. Your mind wrenches, inverts, and then violently jerks back into your skull. Your stomach cramps hard, and the taste of bile burns your throat. A thin trickle of cold sweat slides down the small of your back, and your eyes refuse to focus. Your crew fares no better. Gobbet pulls herself from the floor, madness and folly squeaking worriedly in the folds of her clothing. Isabel grips a railing, her back to the group, retching violently. Rector leans against Koshei, his ashen face staring at the ceiling. He blinks rapidly, processing. Geisha stands perfectly still in the center of the car, hands at his side, his face impassive. Wu breathes deeply, his hands on his knees. That wasn't a dream. He shakes his head like a lion's mane and spits on the floor. That was something else. Gobet's breathing is shallow. She is covered in a thin sheen of sweat. It was a vision. I saw some sort of machine inside the walled city. Isabel turns, squinting in concentration. Her lips are white. It was churning something. It felt wrong, impossible. I think it was ripping. I don't know. Reality. The orc girl shudders. It was ripping a hole in reality. Something is here, my friends. Something has arrived. I believe we have just fallen in over our heads. Wu straightens up, drawing the back of the wrist across his mouth. What the hell was that, Raymond? No answer. Wu spins to find Raymond cowering, his head in his hand, shuddering and weeping. She's here. Prays a hand on his shoulder. Breathe, Raymond, breathe. Shouldn't have waited, shouldn't have hid. He looks up at you with bloodshot eyes. She's here, the queen with 1,000 teeth. Raymond rocks in place, hugging himself, staring past you at someone only he can see. I left prosperity in there. I left prosperity in there. I left prosperity in there. Uh-oh, looks like Raymond's gone bye-bye. Shh, Gobbet. Isabel whispers her admonishment. Gently squeeze his shoulders. Edward, can you hear me? The old man's brow furrows at the name. Prefer Raymond. Raymond blinks his eyes open. His voice is weak, hesitant, disconnected somehow. Are we in the subway? The right corner of his mouth twitches noticeably. Why is he stuttering? He's not. I used to stutter, and this doesn't sound like stutter to me. Something else is going on. Could be the visions. Could be the aborted brain surgery, or some combination of the two. Something bad is happening. Began a long time ago, and I'm responsible. His eyes open wide. The Queen, Prosperity. The Queen with 1,000 teeth. These dreams, visions, they've been coming to you for a long time, haven't they? Yes, oh yes. I've been plagued by the nightmares for a long time. Raymond's lips start to tremble. They began years ago, sporadically at first. Vague dreams, wrapped tight with guilt, with shame. Raymond's eyes rolls back in his head, and he closes them tight. Until this last year, when he searches for the word, the frequency began to increase. Then the imagery clarified, started to repeat. Teeth, thousands of teeth. He sways for a moment, dizzy, and the sound of suffering began to drown out even my waking thoughts. That's when I knew I had to come back. The truth, Raymond. Why did your mother have you kidnapped? Why try to erase your memory? To stop me from correcting a mistake I made a long time ago. He puts a hand out and steadies himself on Wu's arm. My fault, Prosperity. All those people, those poor people. The Prosperity Project. Shame eclipses the old man's face. You know about Prosperity. Yes, sort of. Wu's tone gets a little sharper. We already covered this, Raymond. We know that it's in the center of the walled city and that Edward Sang built it. Why don't you start at the beginning, Raymond? Tell us what it's all about. The beginning, sometime in the 20s, my mother was awarded he searches for the word, the contract to rebuild the housing development, the walled city. Well, from the results, I'd say your mom kind of blew it. Prosperity failed. Frustration appears in the old man's tired eyes. I told you, the walled city wasn't the Prosperity Project. Prosperity was the fortune engine I built at the center of the walled city, my special project. Fortune engine? What are you talking about? Wu sneers. You can't create fortune, Raymond. You kinda can, Gunshow. Some practitioners of Feng Shui believe that they can do it. Ever heard of Bagua of the 8 aspirations? Wu looks at Goblet flatly. No, Goblet. I must have skipped school that day. Me too, and I want to skip it now. Let's cut to the chase. Sure, Seattle. No need to know where electricity comes from. You just flip the switch and it works, right? She looks sidelong at the Raymond. So what does your fortune engine do? The fortune engine was designed to improve the balance of ki in a negative ki environment. A negative key environment, somewhere shitty, like a slum. Raymond corrects her, like a low-income housing project. I believe that with the fortune engine, the rebuilt walled city might never become a slum. He drifts off for a moment, remembering, then he squeezes his eyes shut and lowers his head. But the machine malfunctioned. How do you know how to create magic machines, Ray? I thought you were an industrial engineer. I am. I also have several advanced degrees, doctorates in physics, Taoist alchemy. The old man shrugged shakily. My mother pushed me hard to reach my potential. Wu stares at him blankly. A doctorate in magic, great. Something else we didn't know about you. You guys can work through your family secrets later. Isabel leans in and speaks gently to Raymond. How did the machine malfunction? The mechanism I created to circulate negative ki in the walled city. He brings a liver-spotted hand to his mouth. It got stuck. Stuck on what? Raymond rises slowly, pulling himself from his crumpled heap. His tone turns instructive. The old Raymond. But this time, his explanation is halting and weary. Think of the fortune engines as a sort of propeller blade moving through astral space, circulating ki, keeping it. He hunts for the word. Fresh. When ki flows, when the rhythm is right, the results are positive, fortuitous. When I brought my design for the fortune engine to my mother, she embraced it. He exhales. She more than embraced it. She bankrolled it, but an entire division of Sang Mechanical under me to develop it. Sounds like a big bet. Raymond nods rapidly. The biggest of her career. Mother said that if the machine could bring fortune to the less fortunate, it would prove my theory. And if it could help the poor, imagine what the fortune engine could do for Josephine Sang. Wu's jaw clenches. But that's not what happened, was it? Something went wrong. The people in the walled city didn't benefit from your fortune engine, did they, Raymond? The old man bows his head, doesn't answer. Answer the question, Raymond. What went wrong? It got stuck. He grabs his head with both hands, squeezes his eyes shut. The mechanism I created to circulate the negative ki in the walled city got stuck. You can see Wu's patience blowing away like autumn leaves in a high wind. He rubs his head viciously in frustration. Stuck on what, Raymond? The old man gets a confused look on his face. His lips move soundlessly for several moments. Wu leans in close. Drops to a whisper, seeds in his foster father's face. Stuck on what? Raymond winces at Wu's tone and stumbles back a step, but it does the job and the old man focuses. Something in astral space. I wasn't sure what. That sounds bad. The machine started pooling negative ki. The old man breathes, begins to accelerate, and the walled city started to fill with it. Fortunes turned bad. I've been in places where the feng shui is really bad. That's not what I felt when I was in the walled city. No, ki needs to flow. Eventually, the enormous pool of negative ki became toxic. Fortune turned from bad to worse. Much worse. Raymond's shoulders slump. Mother's vision for a rebuild, revitalized walled city, fell to ruin. It only took a few years for the trapped toxic ki to turn a brand new housing development into a hellish slum. That was a staggering failure. The fortune engine caused thousands to suffer miserably. That was a tragedy. What we did next was the real failure. What was that? Wu's baritone rasped lowers. What did you do, Raymond? Nothing. Raymond can't meet Wu's eyes. Not a damn thing. Did you forget to design an off switch? Why the hell didn't you stop the damn machine? I couldn't. Something happened. Part of the malfunction. We couldn't turn it off. Then why didn't you blow it up, wrap it in C6 and turn it into scrap heap? Mother refused. Wu's tone turns ice cold. Why? I never found out. She wouldn't tell me. She would only say that it wasn't worth spending the additional resources to figure out how to fix it, or even how to turn it off. Words start spilling out of the old man. She sealed off the maintenance room. Our engineers poured a sarcophagus of thick concrete around it, so no one would ever find it, ever find out what we had done. Then she wrote the project off as a business loss and moved on like nothing had ever happened, right? Yes. His face flushes and he fidgets with the gauze bandage on his head. After that, I left Hong Kong, started a new life in Seattle, found you two. You should have stayed, tried to do something about it. Wu grimaces, disappointed. You were a coward, Raymond. Yes. Raymond stands up straight, takes a shaky step towards Wu. Yes, Duncan, I was a coward. And the guilt, the burden of my cowardice, gripped me like a vice that never loosened. It's eaten me from the inside for 20 years. He licks his lips, tries to breathe. And then the nightmares began, horrible. Still I kept working on the problem, night and day. That's the work that kept you in your study until all hours of the morning. It took me years, even after you left, to make the connections, find what to do. But I did, I figured it out, and still the nightmares intensified, until they become unbearable. I knew I had to come back, fix what I had done. That's why I contacted you, to help me see it through. Wu mumbles something, but all you can make out is the word coward. Wait, there's still a piece missing. What's causing the visions we're all having? Raymond's voice flattens. When the machine malfunctioned, when the circulator became stuck in astral space, it lodged in another domain. He sways as his lips begins to tremble, and something lived there. Not good. The old man begins to drift. After 20 years of constant force, the circulator finally began tearing astral space, creating a rupture in her domain. He begins rocking in place, and now she's pushing through. Yeah, she's pushing through, all right. Wu snarls at his foster father, the queen with 1,000 fucking teeth. A thing you brought here, Raymond. Raymond stops his rocking, become fully lucid. He snaps back at Wu. I understand that, Mr. Wu. That's why I came back. I believe she is only partially here. She hasn't pushed all the way through yet. She is probing her new hunting ground. The emotional strain of this snap at Wu rattles him again. I know what to do now. How to extract the circulator, shut the machine down, before she can fully manifest. Just get me to the center of the walled city, to the fortune engine. I will do the rest. Please help me. Help them. You helped us overcome some hairy mistakes when we were kids, Ray. Now we get to help you fix yours. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can go back in there. The little Decker eyes open wide, more white than iris. Her breathing becomes faster, shallower. It's not just a thing in there, Dystopia. It's a Yama King, a demon goddess. We're trapped this. We can't run. And believe me, I want to. It's all I've been thinking of. The rat shaman's shoulders rise with tension. But the APB is still out on us, and those visions. I got a feeling they're not gonna stop unless we make them stop. And that fragile old man's the only way to do it. She looks down at her friend. Her voice is gentle. We've got to take him in there, we've got to help him fix this. I, for one, wish to see this fortune engine. I am intrigued. Rector's pale eyes glint. I willingly go. Gaishu's face remains impassive, with his eyelids lower in anticipation. I have the opportunity to kill a god. I cannot allow the opportunity to pass unanswered. Wu's voice drops to a mumble. I hate this fucking country. I hate this life. Arnold is right. We owe you, Raymond, and I'm not walking away from that. I'll help you fix your mess or die trying. Then we'll be even. He stares evenly at Raymond, his voice cold. I'm no coward. Fear grips the people streaming from inside the walled city. The storm isn't a typhoon, it's something else. Okay, that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys tomorrow.